What's up, people? Back again with another video. This one has to do with Maypac 2. So I was listening to Coffee with the Goose, and Coffee with the Goose, he basically was saying that in the Mayweather-Pacquiao fight, Mayweather lost that fight because he was the aggressor of the fight was Pacquiao making the fight. Mayweather was just jabbing and running. 2, he was saying that, Manny Pacquiao's arm was messed up in that fight. And 3, he was saying that a rematch with Mayweather versus Pacquiao, he don't want to see because it was a boring fight, the first fight. I'm going to address that right now. All 3 points. The first one, he was saying that because Mayweather ran and Pacquiao was the aggressor, Pacquiao won. There's something called effective aggression, Mr. Coffee with the Goose. If you are aggressor, trying to make the fight, but you ain't landing shit, what does it mean? And the other guy's landing shit on you, then you're not going to win the fight because you're fighting his fight. Whether you thought that it was a real fight or not is irrelevant. This is called boxing. And what Floyd was doing was boxing. He wasn't running. Okay? Go watch Pernell Whitaker. If you know anything about Pernell Whitaker, he was boxing too. Okay? That's called boxing. Now, to address your second issue that Floyd was just running and throwing jabs. First of all, when you're facing the southpaw, my friend, the jab is not the most effective punch. The most effective punch is the lead right hand. And Floyd was tattooing up Pacquiao with lead right hands. In fact, he started establishing the lead right hand very quickly in round 1. Okay, he was landing the lead right hand on Pacquiao at will. He landed 4 lead right hands on Pacquiao. Pacquiao landed nothing on him. Now, why I say this is because a lot of you guys, first of all, don't know what you're talking about. And then second of all, you have biases. But first, let's get back to your second point. Your second point was that Floyd had the judges in his pocket in Las Vegas, Nevada. That's not true. He didn't have the judges in his pocket. Everybody and their mama saw that that fight was actually not competitive, that Floyd had won at most 10 rounds, at least 8 rounds out of the 12-round bout. Okay? Just what it is. It was either 8-4, 10-2, 9-3, anything like that. I'll give you an example of what I'm talking about. How did you score the Tyson Fury-Deontay Wilder fight? If you scored a 10-2, 9-3, or 8-4 for Tyson Fury, and you said Tyson Fury definitely won, and Tyson Fury was dropped twice in the fight, then how the fuck does Floyd Mayweather lose that fight to Manny Pacquiao because Pacquiao's the aggressor? Deontay Wilder was aggressor as well. That means he won the fight? No. You have to land punches when you're an aggressor to win a fight. Tyson Fury outboxed Deontay Wilder. Floyd Mayweather outboxed Pacquiao. In fact, in round 11, he was making fun of Pacquiao and mocking him. That's how much he beat him. Pacquiao went back to his corner, breathing heavy. Point number 3. Pacquiao having a rotator cuff injury. I ain't never seen nobody with no motherfucking rotator cuff injury throwing punches with their hurt hand. On top of that, raising their hand at the end of the fight. You don't do that shit. When you have a rotator cuff injury, you can't move your fucking hand. Because I've had a rotator cuff injury. My neighbor had a rotator cuff injury. And it's very, very painful. Point number 4 that follows the rotator cuff injury. What the fuck is Manny Pacquiao doing swimming in the salt water of the sea, snorkeling, when he is not even yet getting his surgery for his arm? Well, I think he did get surgery for his arm, but he wasn't supposed to move it. And he was swimming in the salt water talking about Jesus healed him and the salt water. What the fuck is that, please? And the video's still online. Let's go and find it. Where Pacquiao is saying that as a joke. Just to let people know he don't care. It was a fake injury. And anybody can have a doctor's bill saying that they got surgery for a rotator cuff injury. It's not much. It's just a small incision in your shoulder. They can go in and inspect it if they want to. Alright? Pacquiao got surgery on his injury after, I think, he was swimming in the sea in salt water, which was crazy. And then you saw him with the cast. So let me just let you know, I think he got surgery in the Philippines, actually. The doctor inspected his hand, saw the injury, but he didn't get surgery the day after. I don't think so. Anyway, my point being, you can't raise your hand when you have a rotator cuff injury. You just can't. Okay? He was embarrassed, and so the talk about him going to the corner saying he had an injury, I played it back 1,000 times. I didn't see it. I don't know what you guys are talking about. Alright? So, my point being that you can't say that Tyson Fury beat Deontay Wilder 10-2 and Floyd didn't beat Pacquiao. He washed him, and it's just what it is. These are the points. Okay. Now, with respect to Maypac 2, you say you don't want to see it again. Point number 5. Why don't you want to see it? Because you know Floyd gonna win again? And then you call the fight boring. So I guess Tyson Fury versus Deontay Wilder was boring? That was a hell of a fight. Okay? And similarly for Floyd Mayweather. I think you guys have inherent racism inside of you. And you have bias towards certain people. Pacquiao's a nice guy. You like him. You know, he's not dark-skinned like Floyd. Floyd is very, very dark-skinned. So you favor Manny Pacquiao. And you favor Tyson Fury over Deontay Wilder for the very same reason. And so you're inconsistent in your analysis of things, Mr. Coffee with the Goose. Very inconsistent. You're saying a lot of stupid stuff that have nothing to do with boxing to start with. And the reason is I'm tired of you fucking fanboys out there twisting rhetoric and twisting stuff because your fighter lost. If your fucking fighter lost, just accept defeat. Look at Anthony Joshua. I lost. That's it. No fucking excuses. You lost. Okay? You want to run it back? Let's run it back. Keith Thurman, I lost to Pacquiao. Let's run it back, Pacquiao. That's what you do. That's what you do. Now let's go to another thing that I was listening to. A guy called Showbiz the Adult. And he was talking about Mayweather versus Castillo. Showbiz the Adult. Let's be real here, brother. Mayweather wins the first 4 rounds of Mayweather versus Castillo. The first fight. Not only does he win the first 4 rounds, he drops Castillo, but because he stepped on his foot, the referee scored it a slip. Okay? This is in the first round, somewhere in the second round, somewhere there. He's dominating. Castillo comes on. I had Mayweather winning round 6. He took round 8 because Castillo was fined a point. He was fined a point in round 9. And I had him winning round 11. So what I'm basically saying is 6, 8, and 11 is 3 rounds he needs to have it 7-5. I had it 8-4 because I also gave him round number 10, which was a toss-up round. Okay? So at the end of the day, if Floyd wins it 8-4, that makes sense. You win the first 4 rounds, you only need 3 more rounds to win. You tell me Floyd didn't win 3 out of the remaining 8 rounds? Really? I know Castillo came on strong, but I mean, come on now. Floyd also upped his ante, if you were paying attention. So I had the fight, Mayweather winning it. I didn't think it was a robbery at all. You were listening to Harold Letterman's scorecard, and you were listening to the total amounts of punches landed in the fight. But you can't look at totals. You have to look at round by round. How many punches landed, how many were thrown. Even in that case, you have to look at how the guy was setting up his punches, who is the guy in control of the fight. You have to look at ring generalship. You have to look at defense. You have to look at effective aggression. You got to look at clean, effective punching, right? So when you're looking at those things, yeah, Castillo was coming on strong, but then Floyd started backing up and doing his thing. He started responding to what Castillo was doing, and he was fighting some of Castillo's fight coming down to the end, but he was actually beating Castillo at his own game. In round 11, definitely he did. Around 10, it was close. The pendulum was changing. His uncle told him he had to go out there and fight, and he fought. Now, whether or not he had a rotator cuff injury, which it seemed like the case, he had a rotator cuff injury because he was hardly using the hand, yes. And he was in deep pain. You could see he was in deep pain when he was throwing the punches. Who is that? Oh, man. I hope that wasn't for me. Whether or not that's the case, the point is that Floyd Mayweather Jr., he grit through it and he won. Alright? Right? And he was in pain after he won. You could see he was in pain. That's the thing that I'm trying to tell people. If you're throwing and you have a rotator cuff injury, you're going to be in pain at the end of the fight. You're not going to be just raising your hands and doing all that shit. Nope. You ain't going to do it. You'll be holding your hand. You'll be holding your hand. You know what I'm saying? So my point being that Showbiz the Adult saying that I remember watching it, and my first impression of the fight was that I thought that what they said was correct, that Harold Edmond and all these guys. But on looking at it in the future, I realized that it's not true. It wasn't true. Alright? I'm just saying all of this to set the record straight on different things and how people can be biased and how they can be influenced by commentary. You guys have a good one. Deuces.